Hi, my name is Monica, and I'm making this video because I want to explain the reason I created this page. And it's simply to remind people out there that are going through a difficult situation that you are not alone. There are a lot of people like me that have probably been through the same situation that you are going through right now. They can relate with you, and maybe we can find a place to connect and talk about what we're going through and give each other strength, but also to remind you that not only people like me that can relate to your story, but God is also with us all the time, and we can always count on Him no matter what. So I want to share my testimony so that other people can relate and find strength knowing that there's hope out there. There's hope for people like you. They're going through this, and that this too shall pass. So let me share my testimony with you. Well, most women out there focus on their careers first before forming a family, and that's great. But if you are a lot like me, maybe your main focus was or is to form a family, become somebody's mom, have kids, and that's what fills your heart, like it did me. And that was my biggest fault or mistake. Um, I got so obsessed with finding the right man, the right person to form my family with and begin this journey of life that I got desperate, if you want to see it that way. When I met him, I have already been through so many heartbreaks that I was just desperate, if you can say it, to find that one person that would stay with me no matter what, that would not just use me, do whatever they wanted with me and leave. And he became that man. He became that person. He stayed with me even after everything, and I wanted so bad to keep that. Um, I thought this is the first man that really loves me because he hasn't leave. And so I think me being so desperate to find love is what kept me staying with him, even though little red flags started appearing, like the way he would say certain things. He was never violent when we were dating. The violence came afterwards, after we got married. But I now can see that they were some little red flags that I ignore and brush off just simply because he was the first guy that ever wanted to stay with me. And I thought, well, I can deal with that. I can deal with some little attitude, and I can deal with little things that he was doing that didn't seem so major at the time. Um, and he did had a brother that was hitting his wife, and I remember telling him, I'm so glad that you're not like him, because if you were like him, I would never stay with you. And in reality, he was very different when we were dating. He never showed signs of violence like that. Um, Maybe a little bit of attitude, but never violence. And in fact, he once even told me that he would never hit a woman. He said, before I would even hit a woman, I'd rather just walk out and leave. So that brought some type of peace, that he would never get violent. And I fell for it. And then after we got married, everything changed. That sweet guy that I thought I knew, because he was sweet for the most part. He would bring me flowers. He did everything right, um, until we got married. Then everything changed. It started with just insults and putting me down, making me feel like I'm worthless, and that I was just a bet that he won to see who would sleep with me first. And all these little things that he started saying to me to bring my self-esteem down as low as possible, so that I could feel like besides him nobody else would want me. And the point is that I was already feeling like that, because I was thinking before him everybody was leaving. Either they would leave or things wouldn't work out. And now him telling me all these things didn't help my self-esteem at all. So his plan was to get me to feel like he was the only thing out there for me. And his second plan was to get me away from all my family and all my friends and people that love me. And I can say that I'm blessed enough to say that he was never able to um, break that bond with my family, because I've been blessed with a really strong family bond, that we were raised in a way that blood always comes first. And thanks to that, he was never able to fully separate me from my parents, from my family. And I thank God for not allowing him to fully separate me from everybody that loved me, which he was trying to do. He did separate me from all my friends. The guy friends I understood, because I am also a jealous person, and I was not gonna be okay with him having lady friends. So that part I understood, and but then eventually, once he was able to get me to erase all my contacts that were males, he later moved to the female friends that I had, and I could only have friends that he would approve. Like, he would have to meet them in person and get to know their personalities. I feel like he was trying to make sure that none of my friends were the type that were gonna get me to wake up and to leave him. Um, so I was only able to stay with a few of those of the friends that I had, if any. But when it came to my family, he was never able to fully break the bond that we had, and that helped me a lot. And I think that's what kept him from doing the most damage, because a few of the times that he wanted to get really violent, he knew that um, I could go with my family, and and so he was smart in that way. He would never The verbal abuse became physical, but it would never be to leave bruises. It would be some like smack in the back of my head or on my shoulder, just not enough to get bruises, or really like something that would show on my body that they could see. But it was enough to bring me down. It was enough to get me scared. It was enough to keep me control at all times. And I used to have to be careful with anything that I had to say, because anything that I would say that would trigger his anger, um, it didn't have to be a specific thing. It could be just the way I look at him. Um, it could be a simple word that I say, he would turn it into an insult somehow. So that's how this time of my hell on earth started. and and there were times when I thought that I could leave him, and then I would get too scared to leave him. he did he did threaten me, saying that if I would ever leave him, he would take my children from me, and he will make my life hell. and even to the point that he would kill my family members if I would leave him. So I became really scared that he would actually do that, because I actually believe he was capable of doing those things that he said. And now I know that he is capable of those things. In another video, I'm gonna tell you more details of some episodes that happened in more details, but in this video it's already kind of long, so I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. And I'm just gonna fast forward to the time that I left him. I always knew from the first day he got violent that I had to leave him, but it never got really real to me until the day my son said something to me that made me snap out of it and make me feel like it's time to leave. It was right before dinner time, and he wanted a cookie, and the rule for me was no desserts after dinner. So I denied him the cookie, and he said, well, when daddy gets home, I'm gonna tell him to give you papao. And that broke my heart, because I realized my son is growing up thinking that this is okay, that this is normal, that it's okay to hit women, to treat them like this. Because I was not doing anything about it. I was not leaving his dad. So it was giving him the wrong message. So I finally took the decision to leave him. It took a lot of courage, but I am certain that if I didn't have the family that I have, I probably wouldn't have the courage to ever leave him. That's why I'm so grateful to God for that family that I have. I left him a note one day. I got the courage that I didn't know I had. I left him a note explaining why I was leaving him, even though it should have been obvious. That day, he had just told me something that made me take the decision and thinking it's now or never. Because that day he said, today is gonna be the last weekend we go see your family. After that, you won't be able to visit your family anymore. You better come up with something that you're gonna tell them the reason that we won't visit them as much anymore. If anything, maybe on their birthdays or whatever, but after this Sunday, that's the last time you see your parents. That's when I decided, if I don't do this now, I will never be able to get out of this. So I left him that note while he was in the shower. To be honest, I had already been planning this out before that day. I knew the kids' room was a room that he never goes to, so that was the perfect room for me to do this. I put a bag inside the kids' closet with some of their clothes, with a lot of the bottles, the baby formula for my youngest baby, my youngest son. I put diapers. I put everything that I thought I would need, and I had it there ready for whenever I made the decision to leave. And I know that was a safe place to hide something, because he never goes to that room. He barely ever went to put them to sleep and stuff like that. He never visited the kids in the room. So that was like a safe hiding place for me to keep a bag ready. And when he say that, I'm like, this is the moment, I have to do it, or else I won't have any other opportunities after this. I don't know what he's gonna do after this. So I had a letter already written before that I was keeping in that bag. So I took a shower first, I put the kids' TV up, like the volume up as much as I could. Um, and I waited to hear the shower go on. And the moment he turned the shower on, I took the kids, I took the bag, I took my car keys, and I left. I put the letter on the table and I just left. And something felt like I'm gonna be safe, I'm gonna be okay. Um, and I just left. I remember my hands were shaking turning on that car, and I was thinking, I hope he don't realize before I can leave, because we were living on the third floor of an apartment building that didn't have elevators, so I had to go down the stairs with two little children, one in my arm and the bag on the other arm, and the toddler following me behind me, running as hard as a toddler can run. All they knew is we were gonna go see grandma. They don't know why mom is running, but they were just the bigger one was following me. And I was so nervous. I remember I put the baby down, then I put the toddler that was still running behind me. I went to get him, and I went and I got in the car, and as soon as I got inside my parents' house, I felt safe again. And I never looked back, and I know for certain that if I wouldn't have left when I did, I wouldn't be here right now telling you this story, because I know that he got worse after that. And I know that because with the woman he met after me, he got more violent, he got worse. She's been through the hospital so many times because of him, and things got worse for her. But if one day she wants to share that story, I will post it in this page. But that will be up to her to share her side of the story. But I know he got worse. And all the things he told me he was gonna do if I ever left him, he did with her. So I'm just blessed and grateful that I was able to get out when I did. And for you women out there that you think you're alone and you don't know what to do, just know that you're not alone. You have people like me that know and understand what you're going through. And maybe we can help each other out. And if you find any comfort in knowing that you have other people that understand you, and let me tell you, you're not alone. God is always going to be with you. Rely on God always, and He will show you through this moment of your life. And I hope that you can find a way out the same way I did. I will make a separate video to describe more in detail of one of the times I thought that he was gonna kill me. Actually, there's two stories, so I will make two separate videos about these stories. But for now, this is all. And if you wanna share your story, you're more than welcome to let people out there know they're not alone. I might not have gone through the stuff that you are going through, but there's probably somebody out there that has. So if you share your story for others to find comfort on your story, how you out came your story, and how you can now tell others it's gonna be okay, and I'm okay, and I went through this, but now I'm fine. And that's the main purpose of this page, to give others the hope that things get better and that you're not alone. God is with us, and there's others out there that can relate to your story. And be blessed, and until the next time.